Greetings, Human Life Forms. I'm the Meister. Welcome back to another NFL video. I know it has been forever. I've been away from making NFL videos for a while because it's the off season, so there's not really much to talk about. But we are right in the middle of free agency, so obviously a lot has happened. And I'm going to make my AFC playoff picture currently on how I think it's going to turn out by the end of the season. I will note I did not look at any of these teams' schedules, so it's basically kind of just the top 7 teams in the league, or in the conference, but just in playoff format, pretty much. So, if there's a team that has like a super hard schedule, like, oh, no way, they're making the playoffs, then, well, I didn't look at the schedule, so there you go. Also, this is the second time I'm recording this because the first time I tried, I forgot to hit record because stuff has to happen. But anyways, I'll go from number 7 all the way to number 1, which is why obviously you see the Broncos on your screen first, because I have them as the current 7 seed in the AFC playoffs. Now, I do also want to say, I don't know if you can see the poster back here, but basically shows all the teams' helmets. There is a lot of good AFC helmets up there, so a couple of these really good playoff contending teams are not going to make the cut. So don't get mad at me if you're a fan of one of those teams, but number 7 seed, I have the Denver Broncos. Now, obviously, the big move they made, and kind of before free agency, was trading for Russell Wilson, which obviously is going to make him a lot better. They did give up a lot of guys and a lot of picks and everything for Russell Wilson, but it's worth it because they're in the playoffs now. They did lose Shelby Harris in the trade for Russell Wilson, so that kind of hurts them up front. But they still got Bradley Chubb, and they actually kind of replaced him with Randy Gregory, so that didn't really hurt them that much, actually, now that I think about it. I think their defense will definitely still be one of the tops in the league. It's going to be a really, really good defense. Offensively, I think they could be really good on offense, but my one slight issue with the offense is that there's a lot of young guys with a lot of talent. It's just if we can actually see like the full effect of the offense, like everyone playing at their best the whole season, because everyone's saying, oh, Javonte Williams is going to go crazy. Well, he hasn't really had a crazy season yet, so we kind of have to wait and see what happens. And then Russell Wilson, obviously, his past couple years haven't been crazy elite. I should say it's still really good, but nothing like elite. Jerry Jeudy, he hasn't been putting up like 1,000-yard seasons or anything yet, so we'll see if he does now with Wilson. They have a new tight end with an extremely long last name that I'm not even going to try to pronounce. Tight end. But it's going to be his first time as the number 1 tight end there. So we'll see how good he really is. But for now, I have the Broncos at 7. I could definitely see them being higher in the rankings. And I can also see them not even being in the playoff picture, because a lot of good teams, again, that are in the AFC this year. But moving on to the number 6 seed, I have the Cincinnati Bengals. Thank you, Radon Software, for ruining everything. I don't even use you. But yes, the Cincinnati Bengals I have in the number 6 seed. This is another one of those tough ones, because Bengals, obviously, they went to the Super Bowl last year. I really wish that'd go away. But it's like, I kind of almost feel bad for Bengals fans, because they just proved all the doubters wrong. They went to the Super Bowl, and now they're the team to beat. Like, they're supposed to be the team to beat. But a lot of these other AFC teams have improved or just stayed the same, and people are like, I don't know about Cincinnati this year. But I will say their offense probably got better this offseason, because they had a really bad O-line, and they made it to the Super Bowl, and that's kind of the reason why they lost the Super Bowl, because of their O-line. It was so bad, that and Eli Apple. But with good offensive line, they still got Joe Burrow. They have the insane Jamar Chase. Their offense is going to be outstanding again this year. And don't forget about Joe Mixon, the running back. He still exists there, too. But defensively, They got Trey Hendrickson up front. Obviously, he's a beast. But, like, there's, like, nothing that really kind of pops out to me like, oh my god, that's an elite defense. Because it's not. It's going to be solid this year. It's going to be solid. But I don't think it's going to be anything too special this year. In terms of, like, holding teams to points. I'd say, like, if they're facing off with, I don't know, middle of the pack team, I'll just do NFC. Oh god, this is tougher than I thought. Let's say the Eagles. Let's say the Eagles. They'd probably hold them to like 20, 23 points, I'd think. But again, Bengals number 6 seed moving on to the number 5 seed is the Kansas City Chiefs. Yes, I do not have the Chiefs winning the division this year. I have them getting the 5th seed in the playoffs. Obviously, you've seen the moves that have happened in the AFC West. The AFC West is a juggernaut in itself, and the Chiefs haven't really made a lot of moves this offseason, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it isn't necessarily a good thing either. Like, they still have Patrick Mahomes. They got arguably the best coach in the league, Andy Reid. They have probably the best tight end in the league, Travis Kelce, and one of the best receivers in the league, Tyreek Hill. So that offense obviously is going to be insanely good again. But you look at that defense and you're like, yeah, that's a pretty bad defense. That's a really bad defense. They even lost Tyrann Mathieu, but they replaced him with Justin Reed. So it's kind of you lose him, which hurts your team, but then you gain Justin Reed, so you're kind of right back where you were, if not maybe a little bit lower. But defense, I think, is going to be pretty bad this year, unless they make some moves in free agency. There's still a lot of big-name defensive players out there, most notably Stephon Gilmore. No idea where he's going to end up. But Chiefs defense, they definitely need some improving. Offense is probably going to be pretty good, like it normally is. So 5th seed for the Chiefs is we are going to move on to the number 4 seed. Drumroll. It's where some controversy might come in. But I have the Baltimore Ravens at the number 4 seed. This was tough. This was very tough. Ravens, obviously, they missed the playoffs, like 9-8 record or 8-9 record, whatever it was. But the injuries, it's all they ever talk about is the injuries, the injuries, the injuries. Well, a fully healthy Ravens team, let's start off on defense, is going to have Marlon Humphrey and Marcus Peters, two, like, arguably number 1 cornerbacks. Well, definitely Marlon Humphrey. Safety, they picked up Marcus Williams from the Saints, so they got a really good safety in Baltimore now also. And then they're always so beefy up front on that D-line. They're always super physical up front. So that's gonna be a scary good defense. It's gonna be like it's potential top 5 material defense that the Ravens have right now. And offensively, you're gonna have a healthy Lamar Jackson, and you know he can do anything he wants with his legs. So he's probably gonna be running all over the field yet again. Receiver room is kind of an issue. Like their number 1 guy is Marquise Brown, so you know it's not bad, but it's not too good either. So if they can improve that in free agency, I don't know. OBJ is still out there. Someone might pick him up. I don't know. We'll see. Tight end, they are amazing at. They have Mark Andrews. He's arguably the best tight end in the league. So that's he always helps out Lamar Jackson a ton. He even helped out Tyler Huntley last season too. So they should definitely be pretty good with Mark Andrews there. And their running game is probably going to be one of the best in the league. It's barely changed. It's probably still going to be. They'll probably be the best rushing team in the league again. I mean, well, I don't know. There's the Titans and the Colts, but like with multiple guys, I guess you could say probably the Ravens. So like, this was really tough with the Ravens and the Browns, because and the Bengals too, but I don't know what's going on with that Watson situation. I mean, obviously I know he's a Cleveland Brown. Right now it looks like he's going to be playing, but who knows? He has 22 lawsuits against him. God knows what the NFL might be doing that might do to him in the near future. So we just don't really know about that. So I have the Ravens at number 4. As we move on to number 3, we have the Indianapolis Colts. Yes, I picked them over the Tennessee Titans. For kind of one big reason that kind of jumped out to me. I mean, they did pick up Matt Ryan, but that isn't entirely the reason why. But it's the defenses. The Titans' defense right now, when I look at it on paper, looks very, 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 very bad. I'm just going to throw that out right now. Their defense looks terrible. Their offense, it's probably going to be really good, especially Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is absolutely insane. If he has a fully healthy season, he'll probably get like 2,500 rushing yards, something crazy like that. He's unstoppable. But when the game comes down to Tannehill throwing the football, let's say just versus, in this case, Matt Ryan, I'd probably trust Matt Ryan more than I would trust Ryan Tannehill. So that's also kind of another reason why I picked the Colts here. Jonathan Taylor, he's probably the number 2 running back in the entire league right now. Got 1,800 rushing yards. That might be a little too high, but he had 18 touchdowns. He just went off this year. Well, last year now, jeez. But yeah, Colts are going to be a big threat, I think. I think a couple people are sleeping on him just because Matt Ryan, he hasn't been playing at an elite level these past couple seasons, but I think the Colts will surprise a lot of people. And I don't know if the number 2 seed will surprise a lot of people, but at number 2, I have the Los Angeles Chargers. Yeah, their free agency moves were absolutely incredible. Incredible. It was amazing. It was like watching a beautiful movie that you cry at the end, because that's how good of moves that they made in the offseason. They got Khalil Mack, they got J.C. Jackson, and they still have, I'm drawing a blank on his name right now, the safety for them. But that is an amazing defense. And you still have Joey Bosa over there also, so that's going to be an incredible defense. Definitely top 10, potentially top 5 material in that defense. That defense looks very, very, very scary and good. Offensively, when you look at the offense, Justin Herbert, I think he's going to be potential MVP caliber. I might be a little too high on the Chargers, but they look set to go. Justin Herbert, he played ridiculous last season. They have Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, one of the top wide receiver duos in the league. They picked up Gerald Everett, I believe, from the Seattle Seahawks, so he's a good replacement for Jared Cook. And then obviously you have the do-it-all running back in Austin Eckler. And they have a pretty solid O-line there up front too. So that is one scary Chargers team that's, I hope for your team's sake, you don't see them in the playoffs. Unless you don't even make the playoffs, then you just suck. So, the number 1 seed in the AFC is going to be the Buffalo Bills. You may call me biased because I'm sure everyone knows I'm a Bills fan here by now. But the Bills, they're arguably the top team in the AFC, just after this season. Everyone was saying, oh, if it wasn't for those last 13 seconds, if they just squib kicked it or something, they would have cruised to the rest of the playoff games and they would have won the Super Bowl. Now, I can definitely see that. I'm not just going to jump on that case because that'd make me seem like a kind of very biased fan, salty fan. But yeah, a lot of people saw them as a top 3 team before they added Von Miller. Now they're adding Von Miller to a defense that will have Ed Oliver also on the defensive line, as well as Greg Rousseau, which hopefully he takes a step up this season. And then you have Tre'Davious White at corner. You have the best safety duo in the league with Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde. And then at linebackers, you have Matt Milano and Tremaine Edmonds, solid duo for linebackers there. And then that's just the defense. When you look at the offense, you have a $258 million quarterback in Josh Allen, which I will stand by is the best quarterback in the league. Not statistically, but just playing football, he is the best quarterback in the league. You also have Stephon Diggs at receiver, along with Gabriel Davis, and now you have Jamison Crowder, and you have like the Swiss Army knife and Isaiah McKenzie there also. And then at tight end, you have a 1-2 punch with Dawson Knox, and now you have OJ Howard there also, which is really good tight end room. And then you have Duke Johnson at running back with Devin Singletary. So we'll see how the running back room works out there. But, I mean, yeah, how can you not say that the Bills are not... How can you say that they're not the best team in the league right now? Like, they basically have no holes in that roster right now, besides, like, a second cornerback. But other than that, they look like the best team in the league right now. So, just to recap of the playoff picture: Bills 1 seed, 2 seed Chargers, 3 seed Colts, 4 seed Ravens, 5 seed Chiefs, 6 seed Bengals, 7th seed Denver Broncos. I know there's also a couple other teams that could make the playoffs: the Titans, the Raiders, the Browns. The Browns could make the playoffs, but again, I don't know about that Deshaun Watson situation. So, yeah, let me know in the comments below what you think of my AFC playoff chart in the comments below. I'll probably make an NFC one, probably like next week or something, for another video, which will probably be a lot more boring because there's not a lot of good teams in the NFC anymore. But, yeah, again, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'll also leave my social medias in the description of this video. So, yeah, about that, I don't have much else to say except life forms out.